Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Friday, July 15th, 2022. A very wet day out there as we work through this Friday of July. We haven't had a lot of these rainy days so far, but we got treated one today. So hopefully the rain holds out for the weekend. Chances, though, are ongoing. So keep an eye on that forecast as you head into the weekend. We got a jam-packed show for you. Got to get right to it here. We'll give you a police update, check in with our Lieutenant Lisa Heitmann. If you haven't met her before, we'll introduce you to her and some of her goals here as we bring that interview back from earlier in the month. Plus, we'll check in with the mayor of Fitchburg on your update here, what's going on in and around the city of Fitchburg. First, we turn to Bratfest, held at the Fitchburg Senior Center yesterday. We've been talking about it. Well, it was awesome. It says here, Bratfest was a huge success thanks to the friends of the Fitchburg Senior Center and the amazing Thursday kitchen crew, volunteers for doing such a great job. And a huge thank you and fun to everybody who came out and who listened to the uke group play some great music. Looks like a lot of fun. All right, happening this weekend, Move for Boys and Girls Club event is in the park this weekend. Brings together family, friends, youth, and workplace for impactful campaign. You can participate in a team or individually, or virtual participation will also be an option. Many different ways to choose from, whether you want to bike, run, walk, or do even yoga for new this year. Located at Mckee Farms Park. Don't miss out. It's this Saturday. Check the website and see if you can still get involved with some of the great activities, all in fundraising for the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. We come back on Monday. We have concerts at Mckee. The Rhythm Kings will be in town. The concerts at Mckee, presented by Oak Bank, is back, and the Rhythm Kings, a four-person band from Milwaukee, has been on the scene for over 20 years. Their music includes R&B, rock, disco, jazz, blues, reggae, and history as well. Come on out. Concerts at Mckee is on Monday night, July 18th from 6, or starts at 6 with the Madison Music Foundry Youth Band, and then the headliner taking place at 7 o'clock. Sim West School is collecting school supplies for the upcoming school year. If you're interested in donating any school supplies and or helping out with this great cause, you can drop off school supplies at one of the Swim West locations. We got one here in Fitchburg, 6220 Nesbitt Road here in Fitchburg. It's behind the Pancake Cafe. And if you don't want to collect school supplies, you can donate $40. That will fill a backpack for one child. And finally, the Kids Fest at the Fitchburg Farmers Market is happening next week as well. Kids Fest will be on Thursday, July 21st from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Agora Pavilion at the Farmers Market. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we open up our digest with introducing you to Lisa Heitmann, the new lieutenant here at Fitchburg Police Department, next on Talking Fitchburg.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready!
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Fitchburg Police Department. You'll recognize her from the swearing-in ceremony. We have her here in person. It's Lieutenant Lisa Heitmann. Lisa, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Jeremy, I'm great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. You were off and running immediately as you took on the role, which is about where we expect everybody in the city of Fitchburg. We're busy folk here as far as employees go. But Lisa, we want people to get to know you. You've been here, and maybe people know you, maybe people don't. But being in the role that you're in, it's awesome to see movement internally, and we're so excited to share a little bit more about you. So, hardest hitting question of this interview is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, Jeremy, thank you. So I've been with Fitchburg PD for only about 5 years. So I came to the law enforcement profession a little bit later in life. I'm from a small town in Wisconsin, came here to Madison UW to college, and then I was in the Air Force for a couple years. Did active duty Air Force, one deployment to Iraq, loved serving my country and knew I wanted to continue service, but I wanted to come back home. So after I left the military, I came back home to Madison, but I was hired by the U.S. Attorney's Office as the title is National Security Specialist. I was essentially an analyst. So I worked with attorneys and I worked with special agents and task force officers, assisting with cases. And so, still working in the law enforcement field, but not as a sworn, officer, still wanting to, always had that kind of in my ear, like, I still want to be a cop. I still want to, get behind the desk. Working in an office is okay, but I wanted something more. So, I didn't want to get too much older. So I made the change a little bit later in life, and I switched from the U.S. Attorney's Office, and Fitchburg PD hired me, sent me to the academy. And that was 5 years ago. Most of my time here has been on night shift or second shift. So, I'm enjoying meeting the rest of the city staff. I wasn't very visible before because I was, on night shift. So I'm really enjoying being here, during the day. Working during the day is great. Sleeping at night is great. And I'm just loving, meeting all the other employees in the city. It's just a great place to work. And I'm enjoying the new role. Like you said, it's been go, 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 incredibly busy, lots to do. As everybody knows, Fitchburg is busy, and every day it's always something a little different, and it's been a lot, but I've been really enjoying it so far. And I've got a lot of ideas and plans and other things that I hope to get started.
We're going to talk about some of those here, but first off, welcome to the daytime. In case you hadn't been welcomed, that's a tough shift to do, by the way, and appreciate you doing that. And what a unique perspective too. Maybe if we have time, we'll talk a little bit about that shift. But you talk about some of the things that you are interested in working about. What is the role? Like, what are some of the things that you are working on, or as the lieutenant, what do you do?
Sure. So, we have 2 lieutenants, at the police department, and many of you, and of course, Jeremy, I know Lieutenant Ned Hartwick, and he's, been my partner. And so when I, was promoted, Ned now is the lieutenant over the detectives, the community service employees, our dispatch center. And so then now I have, I oversee the patrol section. So all of our patrol officers, all patrol sergeants. So that's kind of the area I'm in charge of, essentially. And, so it's making sure we're staffed on the road, making sure officers are trained, either the brand new officers that are, new to the department that need that initial field training, or it's the continuing training that officers need. So, it's busy, it's summertime. So we, our calls for service increase, and, officers are on vacation. And so it's our busy time. And yeah, so it's just kind of my focus right now is making sure my officers are happy and healthy, and that our shifts are staffed.
So it's no surprise that the department's a little bit on the younger side. We've had a lot of people retire, a lot of longtime officers here in Fitchburg that have served many years, or retired or coming up to retirement. So in those dynamics, and a new police chief too, and now you as a lieutenant. But what are some of the things that you guys are working on as all of these changes are happening around you, and still continuing to do that day-to-day operations?
Yeah, so you mentioned, we are a young department, and, we're hiring, very frequently. And so we have 5 officers that are in field training right now. And then we have 3 more officers that are going to field training officer school in July so that they can be trained to be field training officers, for our new officers. So that seems to be, that's kind of my focus right now is our field training program, making sure we have enough staff that are trained and that, they have clear guidance and instruction and expectations when they're training others. Because, I anticipate, that we're kind of continually be hiring, as there's retirements and, law enforcement is a tough career field to work in. Oftentimes people discover maybe it's not for them. And so, we're kind of in this cycle of hiring and training. So that's my focus right now.
And kind of talking a little bit about the shifts and maybe the structure of the department. When you come into the police department, where do you start at? So whether you do go into school or you're going to the field training program, kind of what's that progression look like?
Sure. And so one thing that is wonderful about Fitchburg, and that's what they did with me, is they'll hire you without having the law enforcement academy. So we'll hire you and then we'll send you to the law enforcement academy, which is 720 hours. And, that's just such a great thing that our department does. And so that's what they did with me. Again, they sent me to Black Hawk Tech to the 720 law enforcement academy. And then after the academy, you're going to come back to the department for our field training program. That is 3 steps, essentially 4 with our shadow program. And that takes over, many weeks, months to get you then trained, in our specific department policies and kind of the way we do it here. And then after that field training process, and once you complete that, then you're on the road. And Fitchburg, like many other agencies in Dane County, we're 1 person to a squad. So everybody listening, if you see a squad car with 2 officers in it, that means someone's in training. So maybe have a little bit more patience with them, as they're learning. And sometimes people will comment, why are so many officers at this stop? It could be because we have multiple training cars, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. We have every shift has somebody in training. So it's going to look like we have a lot of officers, and it's because we have so many in training right now.
Lisa, in an overall shift, and I know this could be a hard question to say because no shift is alike. No, and I think that's a draw too to a lot of the officers that I've talked with in the past. That you never know what you're going to end up with, good, bad, whatever. But on a typical shift, what is an officer doing in general? Is it the old school of hey, they're just doing traffic stops, or they're going to the donut? No, I'm not saying it. But what is that perspective for folks who maybe aren't familiar with what our officers are actually doing each and every day? I know they're very busy, but other people may not.
No, great question. And it really does depend on the day. And that is one of the great things, like you said, about this job. It's certainly what drew me to the job. I worked, 9 to 5 behind a desk, and it was frankly, it was boring. And I wanted something with some more excitement. And so this job provides that, because you don't know, what you're going to get every day. And so, typically in an officer, they're going to, of course, respond to their calls for service. So anytime, an individual calls 911 or a non-emergency number and they need a law enforcement officer, our officers, are going to respond to those calls for service. And there's some shifts, particularly our second shift, where that's all an officer does, is they just go from one call to the next call to the next call, because some of these calls require extensive, follow-up. Maybe they'd have to go and talk to other people, or they'd have to go obtain surveillance footage from a business, and so our officers do a lot of their own, kind of continuing work on these calls or these cases that they're assigned. If you're lucky, maybe you'll have time to do some self-initiated work. Maybe that's, walking through a neighborhood. That was something I always enjoyed doing, was walking through neighborhoods, trying to meet with the community. Or of course, we do traffic. And the reason we do traffic is to have safe roads. We've certainly seen a rise in distracted driving, people on their cell phones, and we've seen a rise in, kind of the, road rage kind of incidents. And so, we do traffic just to try to keep the roads as safe as we can. So our officers will be doing that as well. So you never know what you're going to do. And that's one of the great things about the job. And, you get to kind of pick sometimes, I'm going to do, some traffic, or maybe I'm going to do some foot patrol and kind of walk through the neighborhoods if you have time.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. I said, I told you right before we came on that I have a love for public safety in all entities. And I think that's the fascinating part to me is no shift is alike, but truly you're in the business to help people, meet people. And it's a daunting task, and you folks are assigned with so many different tasks each and every day, but all in the better and good or need for helping people. So thank you so much, Lisa, for your time. It's so nice to get a chance to talk to you, see you in the daylight hours, certainly. And we'll look forward to having you back on the show, but appreciate your time.
Absolutely, Jeremy. It's been wonderful talking with you. And yes, I look forward to being on future episodes.
You didn't even know though, but that's it's part of your new life here.
Yeah, I think yeah, Chief has kind of said that. Yeah, you'll be seeing more of me.
That's okay. We appreciate it. All right, Lisa, thank you so much. Stay safe out there, and we'll look forward to seeing you here in the near future.
Thanks, Jeremy. Take care.
You bet. Lisa Heitmann, Lieutenant. Say hi when you see her out there. She's busy. I just saw her at an event recently, and I couldn't even get a word in because she was running all over the place. So she's working hard for you out there. We're going to take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is your mayor of Fitchburg, Aaron Richardson. Aaron, welcome back to the show, and happy summer. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's my favorite time of year. How are you?
It is. I used to say it was my favorite time of year. I do love fall, but I love this time of year for the fishing. Like, I get out and do a lot of fishing and that sort of thing. So there's that. Trying to get into the biking world as well. So that's been doing more of that. And there's a lot of fun events that go on during the summer, and that's where we'll kick off. We'll start with some fun stuff, and then lead in some number stuff a little bit later. So we just had the Festival of Speed last weekend, and it was a great showing for all events, ending up with some fireworks. You were in maybe more than one event?
I was in one event. I biked in the 25-mile bike ride in the morning. Not timed, not for place or anything like that. Just bike for fun. And Fitchburg Family Pharmacy is the one who sponsors that. It was a great ride. Had a lot of fun. It took us up some really steep hills. I'll have to talk with the organizers about that. That was a little painful on Sunset coming out of Paoli, but it was a great time, great weather, great event. I did go later, watch some of the people who were biking in the pro level, watch the 1 mile for money, listen to some of the music, and there's a ton of people out there listening to that. Had the band afterwards as well, and a great band, a lot of people out there for the band and for the fireworks. So great event, great weather, very excited to see that continue to build.
Yeah, I filmed in the morning, and I saw you in the morning on the bike ride. Then I came back at night, brought the family out to the concert. We got some snow cones and watched the fireworks. And yes, it was a very busy event, and we got to catch the last of the Criterion, which is so much fun to see. So, as I said, if you missed it, well, it will come back around just like the Criterion does. So, hopefully we'll see all there next year.
Those pros, they were going 30 miles per hour around the corner. And around the corner, that's amazingly fast.
Another good event coming up is concerts at Mckee, the second concert coming up here real soon. A great way to come out to Mckee Farms Park, where everything is happening all the time.
Yeah, lots of things happening out there. July 18th is the next concert, so very soon here. Hopefully great weather and just so many things. While you're there, you can check out the new inclusive playground that's opened up over there. Obviously, the splash pads out there and the park and playground, lots of other things, but always very popular events. Concerts in Mckee is great. This is the second one of 3. There's going to be another one in August. Highly recommend people go out there and listen to some good music, and hopefully the weather is really good.
Yeah, it is a really nice, relaxing event. We had good weather on the first one. We're hoping for good weather here on the second one coming up. And the park's got a little bit for everybody. And so does this next event sneaking up on us. Used to be Bike for Boys and Girls Club. Now it's Move for Boys and Girls Club. It's a huge fundraiser and so many different things and ways you can participate as well.
Absolutely. That's coming up this weekend. I've been a long time supporter of the club, and I've actually participated in this almost every year. It's always around my birthday, so some years I'm not in town. But this year, this starts out again with the traditional bike ride. There's 3 different routes. I'm going to be out there again this weekend doing another 25 miles. Hopefully not up Sunset again. Hopefully we can avoid that road this weekend. But we're doing that. And afterwards, they've got some yoga and a bunch of other activities going on. But then that night, they have a concert that you can buy tickets for, and then also a party. They're calling it a white party, where you're supposed to dress in all white. And so that's another big event. I'm not going to the concert, but I'm going to the party. Got my dancing shoes on and have my outfit picked out. So maybe you can see me there and join me out on the dance floor.
Are you signing autographs and taking photos as you're dancing, or are you going to be hiding in the corner because people saw you dance?
Well, I don't have any shame, so I will be out there dancing. Whether or not I should is a different story.
I don't have any shame. Somehow we're going to have to write that down and use that against you down the road, but we'll leave that alone for now. Great event. Like I said, plenty of time to sign up. Go to the website for Boys and Girls Club of Dane County to sign up there, and glad to have them here in our backyard in Fitchburg. Agora Art Fair happening in August, and another great event. It's just event after event, and this one brings in artists from all over Wisconsin, and great music and good food and great drinks. And no uphill bike rides.
You can bike there if you want, and there's plenty of hills if you want to do that. But it is a great event. Love it. One day thing, but always a ton of people there. Great vendors, great atmosphere. So check that out. I know I'll be out there for a little while in the morning, and just fantastic. We're very fortunate in Fitchburg to have so many great events and people who run these events as well. It's on East Sherrill, kind of by the Agora Pavilion, down that way. And highly recommend you come out for that.
Yeah, it's really turned in because they've had the kites on display. I mean, they've had every different type of art you could want or see or hear on display. So they really vamped it up over the last several years, and plenty of parking is always a big thing for me, and easy parking at that, and then just in a beautiful setting. So even just coming out there and checking out the gardens, everything, it's like all wrapped up in one great event.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very fortunate. Promega is a big sponsor of that, and great partner here for the city, and just fantastic event. And I've talked to vendors actually who say that they actually will sell more at this event than they do at concerts, or not concerts, but Art Fair on the Square, which was just last weekend. That's just, I think, to me, speaks to how great an event it is and how great the vendors are.
Yeah, nope. It definitely has everything you need for a great art fair and a relaxing day to get your art on, if you will, on here in Fitchburg. All right, hard transition here. We've got budget, so that is coming up, and it's your favorite time of the. No, I don't know if it is actually, but it is budget. Whether or not you like it, you hate it, we got to keep doing it. And the paperwork is out to the departments, but just quickly. Where does and what should we expect this year for the budget?
Yep. So the next steps publicly are the alders are able to provide amendments to my capital improvement budget. Those are going to be announced in the next week here. I believe there's 10 amendments that are have been proposed by different alders. So we'll go through those, vote on those if they should be added or not. But staff is actually working on the operating budget now and looking at their needs and what they need going forward. We're working with Department of Revenue because we have the town of Madison annexation. That's making it a lot more complicated this year. And so we're working with the Department of Revenue to really make sure we have good adjustments to recognize how unique that is and how that's impacting us. And so we're trying to work with them. And we've gotten them to do some things for us already, which is fantastic. They've been great. And so a couple other things we want to talk to them about. So, staff will look at those, submit those. I'll go through them with staff and then really try and figure out what makes the most sense for us as a city. It's been a tough year. Obviously, inflation, you hear that all over the news. You see gas prices that went up to $5 a gallon. All those things obviously impact our budget and make it a lot more difficult to come out with a great budget for what's a very growing city, one of the fastest growing in the state.
Yeah, and we'll keep you up to date step by step as we go through the process. That process will be available online through the finance department, so you can check in on that. All right, Aaron, I think that's enough picking your brain today. There's one thing I learned: if you ever have to touch Sunset something, you're going to be in trouble because that's just the worst biking thing. So is that in the city? Where is that?
No, we wouldn't have roads like that in Fitchburg. What? No.
Understood.
It's
yeah,
outside
all right.
POI. It's
Okay,
actually
good.
beautiful. POI is a beautiful place to bike to. You can avoid Sunset. Go down range, go, Grandview over to Verona, go down range to POI, and you can come around to the bike path. And it's a beautiful area. So it's great. It's a great biking, and you just got to work up to some of those harder hills out there.
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm just getting back into biking. Used to do it all the time when we were younger, and trying to get back into it. So looking forward to trying some of the trails around here sooner than later. But I'll make sure to avoid that one, Aaron. Thank you for the advice. All right, appreciate your time. Have a good summer, Aaron, and we'll see you back. Well, have a good summer. Have a good the rest of July summer, and we'll check back with you in mid-August.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
You bet. It is the mayor of Fitchburg, Aaron Richardson, loves to bike, hates the hills. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Como padre, todos los días son un desafío. Y hay que estar ahí presentes. No importa lo cansado que uno esté, hay que estar ahí presentes para ellos. Cuando los niños aprenden algo nuevo, es ese momento mágico y especial. Y creo que presenciar ese momento es mi favorito.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are, they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
Plenty of fun things to do in Fitchburg over the weekend. Check it out, and we hope you have a dry and safe weekend. You can also take Fact TV with you anywhere you go.